Crash Bandicoot. At last, I, the great Neocortex, have you right where I want you. And now, the final blow!
Hush, simpleton.
Face it, Entropy. It's going to fail. Again!
At least Uka Uka and I attempt to free us from this prison. I won't sit idly by and listen to your inane ramblings for another decade. You chew.
Is he dead?
Leave him. He's served his purpose.
A great power has awoken. Crash? I fear it portends an event of reality-shattering proportions. I feel it emanating from Insanity Peak. Quickly, we must go! Crash! Crash! Crash!
Crash Bandicoot 4, it's about time, and it's about time I actually got around to uploading this game. So I struggled for a little while. What should I do with this game? I knew I was going to play it when it came out. I knew I was going to love it, and I do. But should I record it? So like I do with all of the games that I play, I record them regardless of whether or not I upload them. And I do that just in case something cool happens, or maybe down the line I decide that I actually do want to upload them. And in this case, I decided that I wanted to record a 100% walkthrough, but that's not going to happen because I am pretty convinced that this game is impossible to 100%. And that's only because it is incredibly difficult. I thought the first Crash Bandicoot game was hard. This one starts off okay on the difficulty scale. It's pretty easy. And then it gets hard, and it doesn't stop getting harder until it's just extremely hard, and I really cannot fathom getting every single box in every single level, and only doing every level with only dying a maximum of 3 times. And then, of course, on top of that, you have the time trials, and then there's like the perfect, I think there's like a perfect trophy where you, I think that might be where you have to complete the level completely without dying and get all the boxes. Yeah, I don't know if that's what that one is. That one might just be do it without dying, which isn't too unreasonable, because if you repeat stuff a bunch of times, eventually you get the hang of it. But the problem with Crash 4's difficulty is that the levels are so extremely long compared to the earlier games. They go on and on and on, and that's a lot of fun because it means it's a really long game, but it also just means if you are someone who likes the 100% the Crash Bandicoot games, you're gonna have a hard time doing that. So I think those 2 boxes that I just walked past were actually the 2 that I missed in the whole level, maybe not though. The other thing is that I've noticed with a lot of these HD 3D platformers, so just the modern day 3D platformers, and I've noticed this ever since like the Super Mario World on the Wii U, depth perception is a problem, and that just means that I have such a hard time knowing where the heck I'm gonna jump. So in this game, they give you this huge green circle beneath the character, and that does help out quite a lot when it comes to learning where you're going to jump. In the other games for Crash Bandicoot, it was really just a shadow that you had, and I kind of wish they kept it as a shadow. It's a little bit more realistic than a green circle that's permanently below you, but when you are playing this game, you do want to pay attention to that green circle. There's going to be things like some vehicle missions, there's going to be a lot of those vines and those ones where you just skate on something, and there's also going to be a lot of missions where we get to play as other characters. So I do plan instead of doing a 100% walkthrough like I wanted to do originally, I'm just going to do a normal walkthrough. We're going to get through the game, which is hard enough on its own, and I'm also just going to complete every single level. So we're gonna get through that as best as we can. I've already recorded the game from beginning to end, so there's really nothing stopping me from keeping that up. But it may take me a while to get some of the other levels, because those aren't particularly easy either. You're also going to see quite a few cross dissolves and other transitions that are cutting out all of my deaths. And I'm not doing any of the bonus levels in this walkthrough. That's just because they don't really matter for completion of the level. The bonus levels themselves could be a whole other game with how dang hard some of those are. And it feels like it'd be kind of a waste of time for me to show off a bonus level when I'm not getting all the boxes in the level anyway. It's not going to help me any at all. So the main thing that you would do bonus levels for in the previous games is for a checkpoint, and that is helpful in this one too. I do recommend that if you are playing this game even on the modern mode, which is where you don't have lives, then you still grab the bonus levels, because it's just an extra part. It's an extra length of that level that you don't have to complete again if you die. And the other reason to do bonus levels besides the checkpoint was just to get more lives. So originally I am playing this game on retro mode, and I did actually manage to complete it on retro mode, thinking there might have been an achievement for that, and there isn't. So there's really no reason to unnecessarily torture yourself with lives in this game. And the game is extremely generous with the amount of lives it'll give you, but especially later on you're going to have some levels where you die like 43 times, and we're going to see that when we get there, the final screen, the end screen of each level. You're going to see some levels I have like 50 deaths in them, because that's just how hard the level was. So we're nearing the end of this level. We're going to continue this walkthrough on in the next one. Level 1's pretty straightforward, and I'll see you in the next video.